Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a story that stretches across thousands of years, connecting an ancient feast of freedom to a modern ritual celebrated by millions.
I mean, how does that even work, right? We're going to follow that exact thread connecting three sacred meals: the Passover, the Last Supper, and the Catholic Mass. It's this incredible story about sacrifice, commitment, and community. A story that evolves, for sure, but stays connected by one powerful, unbroken theme.
All right, so our story kicks off thousands of years ago. You have a people enslaved, and in the middle of all that, a promise is made. This is the foundation, the absolute bedrock that everything else we're talking about today is built on.
Now, to really get this journey, we have to wrap our heads around one key idea: covenant. And look, a covenant isn't just some dusty old contract. No, it's way deeper. It's a sacred, binding relationship. It's the very framework for how God and His people relate to each other in this whole narrative.
So if you go to the book of Exodus, the instructions God gives the Israelites are, well, they're intense and super specific. Sacrifice a perfect lamb, smear its blood on your door. Why? So the angel of death would literally pass over your home. And get this, it worked. It was this visceral, you had to be there moment that led directly to their protection and ultimately their freedom.
So you see, right from the get-go, Passover was never just about getting out of Egypt. It was so much more. It was the birth of a people's spiritual identity. It was this powerful symbol of redemption, a real-life sign that God keeps His promises. It's what took a group of slaves and forged them into a distinct community, all bound together by this incredible shared memory.
Okay, let's fast forward a few thousand years. We're going to see that same powerful idea of Passover come back, but this time, it's going to be transformed, reworked into something totally new, with a much, much bigger scope.
And this is where it gets really interesting. At the Last Supper, you see this pivot. Jesus is presented as the new Paschal Lamb, the ultimate Passover lamb. The symbolism is so direct you can't miss it. But here's the twist. The lamb's blood used to protect from physical death, right? Well, now His blood is said to offer redemption from spiritual death, from sin. That parallel is just wow. It's huge. So picture this. They're in the middle of a traditional Passover meal, and Jesus does something radical. He introduces the Eucharist. And listen to the words He uses. "This is my blood of the covenant." He's using that specific word. He's signaling, loud and clear, that a new ultimate covenant is being established, right then and there. He's taking all that ancient symbolism and giving it its final, definitive meaning.
So what's happening here? This moment is seen as the completion of everything that started back in Egypt. Those old symbols, the lamb, the blood, they find their ultimate fulfillment in Jesus' sacrifice. And by doing that, the promise of salvation explodes. It goes from being for just one nation to being for all of humanity. But wait, the story doesn't just stop there, frozen in history. Not at all. For millions of people today, it's a living thing. It continues in a ritual that's meant to connect them directly back to that upper room, to that one incredible night.
And this is a really key point we need to get. The Mass isn't just a memorial service. It's not about remembering something that happened 2,000 years ago. For believers, it makes that historical event, the sacrifice, a present reality they can actually participate in right here, right now.
Think of the Mass as a kind of time bridge. It pulls the past, the entire history of salvation, right into the present moment through this idea of Christ's sacramental presence. The whole point is to offer grace and spiritual nourishment to the community today and to celebrate that community as one body. It's this amazing intersection of past, present, and future.
All right, let's pull back and tie all these threads together. Let's look at the big picture, the whole tapestry that's been woven over thousands of years.
This chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? You can literally trace the evolution. Take sacrifice. It goes from a literal lamb to Jesus indicating His own sacrifice to that same sacrifice being made present again in the Mass. The covenant expands from one nation to a new one for all. And the community grows from a family to a small group of followers to the entire global church. You can see the thread right there.
So the bottom line is this. You've got this incredible one-two punch of continuity and expansion. The scale gets bigger, the symbols get their ultimate meaning, but the core promise, that promise of redemption, of God wanting this covenant relationship, that never changes. That is the constant, unbroken thread. When you understand these connections, you realize it's not just a list of separate historical events. It's a single unfolding story, a rich, developing narrative of liberation and faith that, in many ways, continues to shape our world.